shifts. That's what makes League of Legends interesting, is that while it's hard to keep track of over 100 champions, it makes for some interesting shifts, even if the meta, quote unquote, doesn't change. Just favorite champions, kind of styles, play styles shift quite often now, and I think that's a lot of fun to watch. So the next bans have been Yorick, who I don't think was banned or picked last match, if I remember correctly. We have Wukong and Amumu coming right out. Wukong, also one of those that you see now and then as a ban. Amumu, you know, these are all bans that we've seen, but not ones that we've been able to rattle off as instant bans. If we were making up a theory game and we'd be like, who would be banned? It would be like Kassadin, Urgot, Malphite. We would say these champions, but none of these have necessarily held that strong of a spot on that list. We've seen them, but we see a Vayne being banned out against Feel the Vibe, and then Jax was the last ban for Feel the Vibe as they go into their first pick.
I feel like that Vayne ban is specifically against Buddha Rice. They want to be able to shut that down. And I believe Armor is an Amumu player, so they wanted to shut that down as well. And you're right, there was just no Yorick last game. Wasn't banned, wasn't picked, just, you know. Everybody wants to ban, but they forgot about Yorick. So, he managed to slip through. What were the chat bans again? I don't have the stream open.
Zyra and Jace coming out from Field the Vibe, and Kassadin and Urgot as the bans coming out from YOMI here in the chat room. And we are going to... I said Zyra and Jace, correct? I think I recorded that correctly, but I am seeing Jace highlighted. I'm assuming, I'm assuming Valanda was just messing with us. I don't expect Valanda to have completely disregarded chat bans and just gone with Jace. Alright, I was like, for a second I was like, wait, why can he even highlight it? And then I realized we do chat bans, not just comment bans. So a little bit confused there.
I'm really surprised that I'm not seeing them snatch up Malphite while he is available, because Malphite really interferes with Pantheon because of his just general, I have a lot of armor, so I wouldn't be surprised if they take Malphite now. Because, I mean, Lulu is one of those most banned champions. Pantheon eats a lot of those bans as well. Malphite, are we going to see Malphite? I'm starting to question if he's going to make an appearance or not.
You know, yeah, I mean, he wasn't picked up first by either team. He could just go by as Yorick did last match, and that would be interesting. I'm kind of liking it, that these champions are being overlooked for ones that teams have prepared, ones that they're more comfortable with, ones that they have a comp prepared for, a team comp rather. So we'll see how that plays out. We are seeing Maokai and Kog'Maw being highlighted, both very good champions. Didn't really touch upon the whole Pantheon pick first, but Pantheon is super strong. You know, has a lot of burst, as we mentioned, has that semi-map closer, map gap closer. And Swain, a little switch over to Swain possibly. We saw Valandum kind of hovering over Swain also, but ended up taking Jarvan up there. Swain's going to be locked in for armor though, for Feel the Vibe.
We're seeing a Rumble highlight and a blank space also being highlighted. I just need to see what that other champion is before I can get into speculating. Talk about the bans again for a brief moment. Jax gets banned for kind of the same reasons that Pantheon gets banned. He's got a durability ability in his kit with counterattack, whereas Pantheon has that shield deflect block thing that I always forget what it's called. Wukong's really durable, but he has a great AoE interrupt, which is awesome, and Ezreal is just extremely mobile and does a lot of damage, and we're seeing they're just passing the Maokai back and forth, and we're seeing them highlight the Maokai.
Man, it's almost like they're picking for each other. We saw Swain being highlighted, then Armor takes Swain, but he had highlighted Maokai, now it's Maokai. It
was yesterday's game where we had teams pick for each other. That was horrible.
That's always fun to do. It's always kind of
Please, Dynov! I know you watch this, like to troll me, but I love Veigar. If you're a good Veigar player and you know how to win with him, I want people to see how evil that guy is. No, different purple champion. God damn it. I like Veigar a lot, but Malzahar is an excellent bottom lane champion if you play him attack damage style. With the Void Lane, it gets to go out and nibble on people. And we've seen a Singed highlight, and Singed is an excellent dive, throws down a lot of AoE damage. You don't really feel the impact of Singed's damage until a 40-second fight has gone by, and you're like, where is all of my hit points? You look at the damage recap, it's like, oh, it's like 647 poison damage. Okay. It's horrifying. Singed's a really good champion.
Yeah, if this locks in, there's a lot of damage over time coming out from Field Divide. We have Sinja's Poison Trail. We have Swain just sitting on top of everyone with the extra damage that he gives through, I believe it's Decrepify. No, maybe Decrepify's Laser Bird. I actually don't really know. I know Never Move is his snare, but he does have a lot of damage over time. He gets fairly tanky. And then Malzahar, it's not a dot, but it's sustained damage through that Voidling. And same thing with Kog'Maw. Of course, Kog'Maw, once he gets 5-6 items, can kind of be considered burst with those. If he goes full AD, the crits are gonna chip away with that percent health damage. Or if you go kind of tanky harass with the ultimates, it's going to be also sustained damage, though it's not going to be any dot ability, but a lot of sustained damage coming up from Field of Vibes. So it's the team fights once again are going to be deceiving for the purple team, which is Yomi, as they're not going to see someone get melted immediately that often. We see Pantheon able to do that, and to an extent Kog'Maw and Swain. But the team fight's just gonna happen, and suddenly you're gonna realize you don't have health, as you mentioned with Singed. Suddenly it's like, hey, wait, like I wasn't really targeted with any strong, flashy abilities, but my health isn't there. They're gonna really need to watch out. On the flip side, they have a lot of burst. We have Jarvan being able to jump in with his ultimate. We have Rumble with the Equalizer burst on top of course, just even his Flame Spitter. It's damage over time, but it hurts a ton. It's very visible, and the effects, the visual effects, are really what makes that a notable ability. Then we see Corki showing up once again in this match. We saw Corki in our round 1 matchup today for Dominate Dominion 20. And then there's Maokai and Lulu as kind of the supporty, tanky roles for Yomi on the purple side.
We're seeing the clock start to tick down as we're going to get into our spectator delay in just a moment here, and I can comment on one of the summoner spells that I'm looking at. I'm raising my left eyebrow at because I cannot raise my right eyebrow at it. I don't know why I can only do the one side of the face. And give me my timer. Yes, there it is. We have a cleanse on Buddha Rice. Kog'Maw, you're not going to be able to shut him down with that CC. Like, I can see a twisted advance going off, and him being like, no, I'm getting out of the way, except Maokai's probably going to go bottom. I can see him getting slowed by Lulu and being like, no, I'm just going to leave. But the other thing about this is, that's always really good to use it on. Everything else is just sort of not as severe of a crowd control ability. Rumble doesn't really have one, Corki doesn't really have one, J-Force is an airborne or a physical terrain block. You can't cleanse out of terrain. It would be really cool if you activate terrain, walk through a wall. That'd actually be kind of neat. But it's really only going to be significantly used. Maybe it's against, I don't know, he could use it against Lulu's,
well, you could use it against summoner spells also.
Does it clear exhaust?
Yes.
And ignite? I was not aware of that.
It used to not. It's gone through some phases. It used to be really strong. It used to be like, hey, I'm gonna cleanse off of everything, and then they nerfed it to the ground, and it was like, I cleanse nothing but like stuns, and then now it's back to somewhere in the middle where you can use it against summoner spells such as exhaust. And I believe it cleanses ignite again also. I'm not 100% positive on that, just because I don't see it that often, and I've never spent the time to test it out myself. So we'll have to wait and see. But as a matter of fact, I actually don't know if it cleanses off the morph from Lulu.
Yeah,
I would assume it. I would assume it
yeah.
would, though. I see no reason why it wouldn't. I've just never seen it happen. So it'll be interesting to see. But as you mentioned, there's nothing other than Twisted Advance that's like a hard stun. But they do have a lot of slow. They have the Glitter Lance, they have the Electro Harpoon, they have the Equalizer, and the Exhaust. That's a lot of slow, and if you can cleanse and then put back your Void Ooze to disengage, that's hopefully going to work out for Kog'Maw. Of course, timing is everything. We have a minute left, so I'd like to give a quick reminder. This is Dominate Dominion 20. Don't forget to check us out if you're new around these parts. The website is dominatedominion.com. You can find the threads in the not the Dominate Dominion forum, but also just the Dominion forum. on the League of Legends site. There's a Twitter at DominateDom and a Facebook, which is /DominateDominion. Also today we are giving out a skin, Full Metal Rama skin, at 250 viewers. So get that viewer count going up. We only have less than 100 to go. So you guys are doing awesome, and that way everyone can join in and watch some really, really good action. You see tons of fun games every week here at Dominate Dominion, so I'd love to share that with everyone. 15 seconds left on the countdown. This is a round 2 matchup between Feel the Vibe and YOMI.
Speaking of Feel the Vibe and YOMI, Feel the Vibe and YOMI have never played against each other. That's something that hasn't happened before. And looking at their two individual, entries, I'm going to throw them down in the chat right here. Feel the Vibe overall is 13-19, 29 games with a 44.8% win rate. I think I fixed the pirate thing from last time. And then we have YOMI, who is 11-17, or not 17, 11-7, excuse me, with a total of 18 games played. And they have a 61.1% win rate.
Some good stats to note, but
however, YOMI doesn't have their typical team with them today, so. But we are at the load screen now of the round of 8 game is Feel the Vibe versus YOMI. DominateDominion.com League of Legends Dominion Tournament number 20 on the top half of the screen. We have Feel the Vibe, Buddha Rice playing as Kog'Maw, Spawn Legacy playing as Pantheon, Armor playing as Swain, Dynov playing as Malzahar, and Chris I am playing as Singed. I'm one half of your casters today. I am Gandare, and casting with me is
Chobra here. We have YOMI on the purple side on the bottom of your screen. As you can see, we have Landum playing on Jarvan the 4th, Vandalika on Lulu, Rizar on Maokai, Caldrath on Rumble, and Water D103 on Corki. And everyone is loaded in, so that's some good timing. I am seeing some talk about a quick disconnect, so we're gonna maybe take a quick break again while we wait for those issues to be solved. Of course, we are 3 minutes behind, so we'll have to wait nonetheless. But as some people confirmed, it does cleanse, exhaust, and ignite, so it's back to that state. But as clarification states, it does not cleanse the grievous wound. It just cleanses the damage from ignite. So that's interesting to note. So you can still count on the grievous wound having an effect.
What timestamp are you at? I feel like I loaded a little late.
I am now
19,
at
20, 21, 22.
Yep. You
no,
might
20.
be. You
I
might
went
even
back
be
2
like
seconds.
half a Okay, so we're on the same page because you were like
24, 25, 26.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. In the beginning, it kind of catches up and adjusts for itself. I'm not sure how exactly that works out, but then it catches up and everyone should be on the same page. Don't see the disconnect yet, but I'm sure we'll be seeing it at some point.
See Malzahar spamming his abilities. He likes drawing little faces with his void whatevers. Everything looks kind of normal right now. We got 80 Malzahar going down on the bottom. For those of you that aren't familiar with how attack damage Malzahar works, he gets attack damage, and the dog, the Voidling, does attack damage. It gets ratios off of that. It gets, your damage and crit, and decides to bite people. It's pretty brutal because Malzahar can just kind of stay safely out of range while the little dog bites at you. However, you can kind of counter that with Nunu, who will just eat the dog. That's not very nice of him, but it's pretty good. He's going to be going against a Maokai down on the bottom, and it's interesting to actually see that Malphite just didn't get through at all this particular game. So that's another... we've always seen in weeks past how it's always Yorick getting banned or picked. It's always Malphite getting banned or picked. It's always XYZ champ, except for Caston, where it is actually always Caston. And this time, it's Malphite's just nowhere to be found. Armor with a disconnect. Should be back momentarily.
Yeah.
I was worried about the spectator client having issues, but now it's game on.
Game.
Anybody's issues.
We have thankfully gotten through many of those issues on Dominant Dominion, though, so can't complain. There have been worse, of course, for various other events, so we have it pretty good over here. But yeah, I think you know, that's kind of what I was touching upon. I think it's nice to start seeing these shifts, you know, those quote-unquote OP champions just going unnoticed, not banned, not picked. And someone was clarifying from the first round match. They said we didn't ban York because we thought Maokai would be able to counter him, so we weren't too worried. You know, that's what I really like to see. You say, hey, we are confident in that we can fight off this strong champion with what we're going to pick. So we'll see if they pick it or not. And then the other team was like, you know what? No, we have our own agenda, and we're gonna ignore Yorick too. And voila, we didn't have a Yorick last game. Also, some clarification. Yes, QSS is in fact, coming from chat, QSS is in fact very different from Cleanse in that it has no lingering effect. Cleanse does have a lingering tenacity buff, as you could call it. It reduces the time or the duration of other crowd control coming in after you use the active. But QSS, the Quicksilver Sash, doesn't have that, but it can take off anything that is marked as a debuff, I believe. So you can take off Hemo Plague from Vladimir, you can take off Mordekaiser's ult, you can come out of suppressions, or actually maybe Cleanse can now too. You know what, I just, those two, well,
Cleanse definitely does not do suppress.
Okay, so it's still the same.
I run Cleanse, right. I run Exhaust, Cleanse, Katarina, and I just know I get stomped on by Warwick and Malzahar, because I'm just like, my key doesn't work. But the pause has ended. Both teams are heading up to the top of the map. We have the slightly larger void creature, Kog'Maw, leading the charge up to the top point. And we'll see how this plays out.
So we do see Lulu going up ahead first to the windmill, but no one's going to get a good channel on it. They're just trading spots. The Never Move is going to catch Lulu, and we do see Blue Team react to that immediately. But Jarvan goes in with the knockup onto Singe. Singe now trying to run away, taking a lot of damage, but doing damage back with that Poison Trail onto Rumble. Singe is still in a lot of trouble with the expect. Starts popping that pod, gets taken down by Jarvan, and we do see YOMI now has the lead up top. Rumble not, yes, it does go down eventually to Conquer's long range auto attack. Exhaust is onto Pantheon. They're focusing on Corki, a double kill for Kog'Maw. This is really good for Feel the Vibe. Kog'Maw now trying to tighten away from this Jarvan. Jarvan not able to get the knockup, does not hit his own Sebastian standard. And we see Kog'Maw just doing extra damage to Vandalika as we see Yomi backing off from that windmill.
Caldrath not able to get up there to interrupt that capture, not able to get the neutral off on it at all. It's kind of going both ways right now. You know, each team's got a champ that's got two of them, so the gold is stacked up a little bit on one champ, but I'm sure that will level out as the next minute or two passes here. But it looks like they're making broad movements down the map, heading towards around the bottom section. Buddha Rice is hanging out by that speed shrine. Looks like Corki's going to go for that center relic they're babysitting to make sure that he can get. Caldrath comes out of the bushes to deflect Buddha Rice, but Spawn Legacy comes down from the top and gets a good stomp. But he's met by the entire team, and he gets airborne and all sorts of bad things. Gets turned into a small, fluffy animal, and then is defeated. And Corki was able to pick up a Storm Shield in that engagement, so a nice play there by Yomi.
Yeah, very, very well set up, really good protection, and I really like that they said, hey, beginning of the game, we're not in a rush, we're going to commit to getting the Storm Shield for Corki so we can be dominant when we go back to the windmill. And we're going to see that fight happen. The Garrison does come down from Singe, but Singe gets immediately morphed into that small animal. Meanwhile, Swain comes up with his ultimate, doing a lot of damage over time in a wide area, but will get taken down by Jarvan. Jarvan immediately takes down his own wall so he can move out any extra damage. Singe is living for a while, but will go down. But we see Pantheon possibly coming in. Is he going to finish the channel? Yes, jumps right in as Kog'Maw shows up. An instant double kill for Pantheon as Kog'Maw picks up the kill onto Rumble. What a play coming out from Feel the Vibe.
Pantheon breaking up that little playground dispute up at the top. He was not letting anyone out of there, except for Lulu, because Lulu's really fast. And they're going to make a play for the drill right now. After that nice Grand Skyfall from Pantheon, it's going to leave them sort of free to capitalize on that, and just seeing that, oh, I have just killed a couple of enemy champions. They are dead as of this instant. I know I have X amount of time, and there's already minions in place. Let's just go grab that drill, make use of that time that we have. But if they had delayed even 5 seconds, they wouldn't have been able to get that. They would have been met by these guys right here. It might not have worked out as well. Spawn Legacy jumping in by himself, although he does have that defender's advantage on that tower, but he can't really 1v4 very well. He made his damnedest attempt to do it, Caldrath is Painkiller Survival Method. We're going to back on out of there. Buddha Rice getting caught with an Airborne. Low on mana as well, though. It looks like he might be able to get... Nope, Land's going to get picked off by that. Not enough damage to kill Vandalika yet. And Vandalika, with only 1-digit hit points, is going to get on out of there. And Water D103 is going to take the windmill uncontested.
Meanwhile, Dynov, what just happened? I saw Dynov's health go down. I clicked over. He was next to Minions. I'm assuming Minions finished him off, but we do see Swain also in a little bit of trouble as Maokai continues to chase. Swain is out of mana. This is Maokai's kill as soon as that Twisted Advance comes up, but he still has a little bit of cooldown. The snare will miss though. Maokai needs to get to know the health rolling comes through. Malzahar shows up. Is this going to be a turnaround? Maokai still chasing down on Swain, but I don't think he has the damage. Will the sapling follow through? The sapling is too slow. Swain will get away and Maokai gets taken down by Malzahar. Meanwhile, top of the map, both teams are setting up once again. We see Spawn Legacy jumping right onto Water D103, but a good exhaust is going to mitigate a ton of that damage on the top of the shield coming up from Lulu. We see the knockup coming out on top of Rumble's Equalizer. Jarvan zoning up Buddha Rice completely. The cleanse comes out, of course, still trapped in that wall, but no problem. Damage is enough to take down Jarvan, and now it's down to a 3v3 as Swain comes up. However, Yomi not in a good spot. Corki's really low. So is Rumba. Rumba and Lulu both get caught in that snare coming up from Swain across the wall. They're going to be forced to back off as Spawn Legacy zones out Corki for a free kill. Lulu, the only one left with not much mana, should be taken down immediately despite that garrison, and Field of 5 will take back the windmill.
Been a lot of back and forth exchanges up here at the top end of the map so far this game. Kog'Maw, even though he was shut inside of Valandum's ult there, with the trapped inside the Cataclysm, he was still able to gun down J4 before J4 was able to finish him off. You see J4 not having a lot of damage right now. Just has the Prospector's Blade, just has the Phage. Phage doesn't really give a lot of damage. And play down at the bottom right now, Dynov dropping that suppress on Valandum, trying to get as much damage as he could in there, wants to keep that tower neutral for as long as he can, and Lulu coming down there and getting the Storm Shield kill off on him. But yeah, J4, not a lot of damage, a lot of hit points right now. And Spawn Legacy's gonna miss with the Glitterland. Spawn Legacy is going to be able to get away. He wants to hang around and play, wants to keep that neutral, but he's only able to clip Lulu there.
Caldrath getting pushed away by 3 members of Field of 5. Actually down to below half health, gets flipped back over. The Equalizer is going to force Swain off of the point, but Corki a little bit late to the party. As we see Lulu showing up with that Storm Shield. Corki's actually caught in between all the enemy champions. This is not where you want to be as a squishy ranged carry. They do still pick up a kill on Swain, but Singe is going to get out this time. This game is all about living with very, very low health, and Jarvan is going to escape. I think Pantheon thought he was going to die, stopped putting out the damage, but Jarvan walks away, picks up the health relic, and then wants to come back to delay this tower even more. Nearly attempts to kill onto Kog'Maw, but Kog'Maw will get that double onto Jarvan and Lulu, and Corki and Rumble show up to save the tower for the time being.
The way everyone's hit points has been going so far, I feel like everyone should be building a Malmortius. Kog'Maw gets shut down over there by Rumble, and they are able to keep the drill under their control, although they need to clear off these creeps, because creeps will take towers away from you when you are not looking. And right now, everything is a little bit calm. J4 has picked up a Zeke's Herald, so it looks like he's going for more of a tanky kind of utility than a damage destructive sort of thing, whereas Kog'Maw almost has a Phantom Dancer completed now.
Do see Yomi setting up for a windmill assault. Spawn Legacy coming in from the side of low health, but still puts out some good damage. Needs to back off though. The Phosphorus Bomb doing a lot of damage on top of basic attacks from Corki. Jarvan gets the shutdown. Jarvan has taken a lot of tower damage, so he needs to back out. No, he will go down. He's with the drill on top of the tower hit, and Singed is quite tanky. There is a huge rumble. The ult is going to help zone out the enemy team, but not going to do as much damage, and it was a little late for the zone out as Kog'Maw shows up for a double kill onto Corki and Lulu. Rumble once again running away at about 300-400 health. Gonna pick up that health rally. Is he going to stay and try to fend off this assault onto the drill? We see Singed maybe looking to go back around. No, he's just going to clear that minion wave with the poison trail, and Buddha Rice actually just going to go ahead and back off. They're content with the 3-cap. They just want to keep the pressure onto the drill.
And now, with Yomi's team back on the map there, they are looking for a spot to make a play, something that often happens in these games here, and they see Spawn nicely sticking his head out, but it might be a trap. Armor is right there, throws down an excellent snare and a lot of damage. Torky's got to try and Valkyrie out of there, but he had an exhaust on him at the time. They walk right into Rumble, but promptly turn around as they feel like taking out someone else instead. Valandum's J4 started to dish out some hurt. That extended lifespan that he's got because of having the extra health keeps him alive longer to put out that more damage, but he's not terribly bursty at all. But you see, leaving him unchecked like that really gives him an opportunity to put out some hurt. However, down at the bottom, Dynob's Malzahar was able to take out Maokai, causing an ace, and now Feel the Vibe is capitalizing on that really hard.
They're gonna get that quick 5 cap with you see Maokai back at bottom, but it's still going to be a 4-1 cap. Feel the Vibe absolutely dominant in this game. There's stopping the Corky once again, taking so much damage, gets flipped right back into the rest of the enemy. There's so much dot coming out from Feel the Vibe, they're just chipping away at the enemy's health. Lulu's going away from the Summer Cloud for very good positioning by Feel the Vibe. The equalizer not going to hit, or the little bit of burst going down to Pantheon, but the dot will be wasted. There's the snare. They are just blocking and denying entrance back into the own spawn of Yomi. Feel the Vibe has taken control of this match.
I feel the Vibe is firmly entrenched. The Maginot line has been drawn as they group up around the drill there. Pantheon hanging around down around the bottom. Looks like he wants to make sure he shuts down any back capping or anything. Maybe he'll go for a gank instead down there. Valandum dives onto the point, throws the Cataclysm down around Buddha Rice. Buddha's trying to get that damage out with that there Kog'Maw. He's dead, but not yet out. Waiting for that Acathian surprise to double kill for Kog'Maw.
Wow, what a play. Chipping them down slow enough for Kog'Maw to pick up that instant of the Swain, defending all alone now. Should get taken down by all means. Have 3 people jumping on them, but Spontaneous returns with half health. Is going to help take down 1 kill. They're going to take, no, not going to take down the kill onto Corky, but we see the clock ticking down, and that's going to be game. It was a 5 cap once again at the end. Feel the Vibe taking a commanding victory.